Well, Dunbar had the reputation of sending students to the Ivy League schools in the Northeast. Uh, that was kind of a thing with Dunbar students. The teachers would encourage you to go to the Ivy League schools. The boys were encouraged to go to Dartmouth. Dartmouth was very well known, and they were encouraged. Dartmouth apparently was very receptive, and so the boys went to Dartmouth. The girls went to the Wellesley, Radcliffe, Smith, Mount Holyoke, Vassar, and this was kind of the thing to do, to aspire to go to the Northeastern college, the Ivy League colleges. My homeroom teacher was Mary Cromwell, whose sister, Dr. Otelia Cromwell, graduated from Smith in about 1903, in the early 1900s. Went on later to get a PhD in English from Yale. And so the Cromwells encouraged me to consider Smith. I applied to both Smith and Mount Holyoke and was accepted at both schools. The year that I graduated, two girls went to Mount Holyoke. I went to Smith. One went to Wellesley. One went to Vassar. One went to Bates. One went to Bennington, I think, in Vermont. There were about a large group of us who went to the schools, the Ivy League schools.
Now, this was obviously not the norm for most black young people at that time.
Most of the students, my students, if I had not gone to Smith, I would have gone to Minor Teachers College, where most of the girls went, who, again, because they were going to become teachers. But I was encouraged to go to the Ivy League school.
And the idea was that you would major in math, that you would come out and be a math teacher? What was your...
Well, I was reminded this morning from looking at the yearbook that I was going to be a French teacher. Well, I think I took French in high school and I enjoyed the language. And so apparently when I graduated, I put in the yearbook to be a French teacher. But I went to Smith and I took French. But I think I realized once I got to studying the French literature that I really wasn't, disposed to go in that direction. And so I better stick with mathematics, which was really my talent. So I'd soon changed my mind about being a French teacher and stuck with mathematics.
Now, the Ivy League schools, I know what you mean in terms of certain Ivy League schools being more receptive than others.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How receptive were they in terms of the numbers? I mean, it was, for instance, I went to Sarah Lawrence. Well, there were two black students in each class. That was the unofficial quota. And with each of the different schools, there was kind of like, well, there's a certain ceiling. In terms of numbers.
I was not aware of that. Mm-hmm. I always assumed that there was no need to have a quota because you wouldn't have that many wanting to come. Mm-hmm. Now, when I went to Smith, I was the only one in my class, which would have been the class of 45. When I got there, Jane Wright was a senior. She was from New York City, and Jane White, Walter White's daughter, was a sophomore. I think she was a year ahead of me. And as far as I know, that first year, we were the only three there.
Out of how many students?
2,000.
2,000?
2,000.
And three of you were black?
Black. Negroes.
Right.
Colored.
Whichever. Yes.
Yes.
And did you find that, or why did you think at the time that there were so few of you?
Because, well, the expense of going there, and the fact that I don't know. I didn't think of it as there being a quota. I think it was more of being encouraged to go there, as I was encouraged to go there. And maybe in other schools, in other cities, they didn't have that practice of encouraging us to go to the Ivy League schools.